Biggest problem the FBI has come out of its intel shops. I'd break that component out of it. I'd shut down the FBI Hoover building on day one and reopening the next day as a museum of the deep state. And I'd take the 7,000 employees that work in that building and send them across America to chase down criminals. Go be cops. You're cops. Go be cops.
Patel's also penned 3 children's books as part of the Plot Against the King trilogy. Oh, my apologies. Sorry. This is but one in the trilogy of the anti-Trump. Supporters slam Hunter Biden pardon decision as, quote, utter bullshit. High-profile Democrat talking heads and supporters of President Joe Biden slammed his decision to pardon his son, Hunter Biden, on Sunday as one that gave President-elect Donald Trump a precedent to pardon his own allies. It's already done that. Did everyone forget that Trump was the president already? For 4 years? He already did a lot of pardons for people in his inner circle? Not new? If Biden does this, then Trump might give pardons too, says Dinesh D'Souza, person who got a pardon from Donald Trump. I'm sitting there seeing, like, what kind of precedent does this set? And you're like, Dinesh D'Souza, you. The president is you. You got a pardon from Trump. What is going on? Did everyone forget? On Sunday evening, Biden issued a pardon for his son related to gun charges and tax crimes. Biden previously said he would not interfere in the Justice Department's persecution of Hunter by issuing him a pardon. He lied? What? How could he? And here I was, completely confused as to why they've been saying that they've been fighting tirelessly for a ceasefire this entire time. And then as soon as the election's over, they're like, yeah, no, we weren't. And you're like, yeah, I know, they lie. In a statement, Biden claimed his own Department of Justice weaponized as well as selectively and unfairly persecuting his son. The pardon also clears Hunter of any other offenses against the United States for which he's committed or may have committed or taken part in during the period from January 1st, 2014 through December 1st, 2024. In response, some MAGA conservatives predictably issued calls for Trump to pardon the January 6th Capitol rioters, and Democrats and Biden allies in media and politics blasted the decision. MSNBC contributor Charles Skies quoted a smart person that texted him agreeing that Trump probably can't believe his own dumb fucking luck at this point. Smart person texts me, Joe Biden has just removed the issue of pardons from the political arena for the next 4 years, and Trump probably once again can't believe his own dumb fucking luck at this point. Sadly, I think he's right. Joe Walsh, this is utter bullshit. Just plain and wrong and stupidly selfish. Shame on you, POTUS. You've given Trump license now to dole out favors to his family and wealthy friends. Trump doling out favors to his family and wealthy friends. That would be wild to witness that take place. What if he appointed family as people who were within his inner circle in the administration? Wouldn't that be a strange thing to witness and see? And what if they actually affected geopolitics, like the way Jared Kushner did? I mean, if they would do that, I mean, that would be certainly something strange to pay witness to. I think Joe Biden did a ton of good things as president. Hunter Biden's persecution was obviously driven by politics, but I can't see how pardoning him now in this way is good for the country or the American people, and our leaders should do what is best for the people. I agree. I realize Biden is probably in don't give a fuck mode, but this is wrong. Very, very upset. The Atlantic Deputy Executive Director, Yoni Applebaum, quoted an article by his publication's newest edition on the pardon decision. Like his stubborn insistence on running for a second term he couldn't win, Biden chose to prioritize his own feelings over the defense of his country. My God. And Nate Silver obviously wants to win the award for most Nate Silver statements. Silver says, I discussed here how I voted for Harris, despite feeling like Democrats indulged in a lot of bad behavior that voters were rational to publish. After the White House line about the Hunter pardon, I'm not sure how much more I can tolerate. Don't vote for any Democrat in 2028 who doesn't repudiate the pardon within 48 hours. Strong words, strong demands made by Nate Silver. Again, did the genocide thing not bug any of you or rub you the wrong way? The kind of consistent pleased that that Joe Biden had his hands tied the whole time, that there's just really nothing he can do. There's just no way in which the United States can affect the decisions and policies of Israel. And by the way, we're now going to be delivering another aid package, billions of dollars worth of weaponry and financial aid that they can then use to spend on our weaponry, which we can then send to them and they can use to continue this genocide and also fight multiple wars on multiple fronts. And even though now it is pretty conclusively being identified as a genocide by numerous, not only human rights organizations, but scholars who literally study that specific topic and subject. Over 800 scholars at this point have signed on to a paper saying that they fear that there's indications towards genocidal intent on the behalf of Israel, and the ICC issuing an arrest warrant for Benjamin Netanyahu for crimes against humanity, which he has been engaged in. And of course, there's the continued forced starvation of Palestinians and a never-ending deluge of horror stories coming out of Palestine on a regular basis. Today, quadcopters were emitting baby sounds, playing sounds of screaming women. Palestinians in Gaza say Israel has been using small quadcopter drones equipped with loudspeakers to lure them out of their homes, and then they shoot them. Stuff that, again, Black Mirror, you wish you could be this dystopian. You wish you could be this horrifying. You wish you could be this frightening. Come on. But no, this was the line that was too far. The pardoning of his son. A selfish and senile old man. How dare he? Noting that Biden here rewrites the telling of the truth to the American people, while not explaining how he lied to them before he said he would not pardon his son. The left wasn't united on this point, though. Pushback came from other progressives, including CNN contributor Bakari Sellers, who dismissed the moral panic and pointed out that Trump didn't need the Hunter Biden pardon to permit any of his actions. Well, I mean, that part is true. I think a lot of leftists, especially the shitposting left, which people usually point me in the direction like, hey, that's Serfs. He's part of the dirtbag shitposters of the left. Yeah, I get it's fucking hilarious to be posting memes. In fact, if you're watching this on YouTube, you might see that the thumbnail is a meme that I made about Hunter Biden, and I disagree profoundly with going after Hunter Biden for either having a large penis or for enjoying drugs, or having, let's say, progressive stances towards sex workers. I don't agree with him going to jail for any of that. That's not to say that Hunter Biden didn't do some fucked up shit, and that the Bidens are not an example of yet another deeply entrenched, powerful political political family in the United States, and that there are things that you can point towards Hunter Biden having done as being shitty. I have no problem with the crack smoking or the threesomes or the penis. All that is completely fine by me. So I get laughing at this decision, really making liberals and Democrats really angry for the first time. Again, the things that you would think would outrage most humans, it's like, hey, by the way, we're doing the forced starvation of millions of children, and our governments are complicit in that, and we should probably be doing everything in our power to stop it so that we can save millions of lives. That would be where I would point my anger towards. Also, when it comes to pardons, I would hope that there are other people that are going to receive pardons, such as, indigenous activist Leonard Peltier, everyone who's on death row in America. I would hope that they can have their sentences commuted to life in prison as they've requested. Biden has the power to do that if he wants to do that, not simply, show favoritism towards his son exclusively. That would be actually very, very nice to see.
Like Kiefer Sutherland trying to hail an Uber. Illegal, sure, but who hasn't done that before? We've all done that before, right? I'm right that everyone has done that. But most of the more serious allegations center around peddling influence. The idea is that Hunter was accepting money from powerful foreign interests, a lot of billionaires who are likely aligned with the governments of places like Russia, Ukraine, and China, in exchange for putting them in touch with his father. In some cases, even outright making deals happen, even if they weren't in the best interests of the United States. And here's the thing. Many of the emails and messages taken from the laptop do in fact point to meetings and discussions about potential deals between Hunter Biden, his...
See, that's bad, and that's shitty, and that's honestly not something that I think any actual leftist is like, oh no, we should give him a pass on all that, again, because of the glorious penis and the sex workers and all the drugs. The sex workers, the drugs, the penis, all that kind of stuff, again, the stuff I have absolutely no problem with. Stuff I actually talk about all the time. Penises, drugs, sex workers, those kind of things, threesomes, etc. It's more of this stuff and more of this, the massive corruption for the benefit of, again, billionaires, executives, corporations. That kind of stuff sucks. So not also the stuff that the right was really going after either, I would say formally formerly, when you heard the right talking about this kind of story, it was always just like Hunter Biden's laptop. Oh, he uses drugs. Oh, he's sleeping with prostitutes. Oh, once again, blah, blah, blah. Here's yet another photo of his penis. I had to investigate multiple pictures of his penis to know just how his penis truly was penised, and all that kind of stuff. Like, I feel like they were way more obsessed with that kind of stuff. The stuff that, like, yeah, no leftist in their right mind gives two fucks about. But the other stuff, yeah, I mean, it's shitty. And it's one of those things where I would like to see, if there's going to be Joe Biden pardons being, again, doled out, that those same kind of pardons are used for things that could, hey, all non-violent drug offenders. What about pardons in that direction? People who are on death row. If you are against the death penalty, well, here's an opportunity to commute their sentences to life in prison. That's another thing you could do. Or to activists, especially indigenous activists like Leonard Peltier, free him. Shout out to Killer Mike for making that, a focus of where the conversation should be going.
Business associates, and a whole spectrum of international businesses and billionaires, many of whom have deep connections to foreign governments. Most of these deals, especially the larger and more ambitious ones, never came to pass, but some of them did. Based on these emails, between 2013 and 2018, Hunter Biden and his companies took in about $11 million from his work, most of which was overseas. The potential for influence peddling is certainly there, and maybe this should lead to a serious and level-headed examination about the incestuous relationship between business and politics that could result in meaningful legislation to separate the two. But it won't, because neither conservatives or Democrats have any interest in seeing that come to an end. They just want to scream about Hunter Biden's dick in public into a microphone.
And also now scream about the fact that he got a pardon when he said he wouldn't, which is what is really pissing off, I guess, all of the Democratic and liberal insiders who are like, oh, no, but this sets a precedent, a dangerous one. What if Trump were to become president, and then he, as president, would use his powers to pardon people as gifts almost? A quid pro quo, a loyalty pledge, that kind of stuff. Wouldn't that be disastrous? The thing he already did multiple times to numerous different people? Yes, it would be shitty if he did that a second time, which he will, which is absolutely going to happen regardless of whether or not Joe Biden does this.
And hey, I get it. So do I. A lot of this resulted from his tenure as a board member for Ukrainian energy giant Burisma, which he joined as head of legal affairs in May 2014. Hunter has never denied that he was an attractive hire for the company because of his father's job as vice president. He famously told the BBC that his name was seen as gold by corporate leadership and led to his placement on the board. Kind of like how I got this job because my dad, Sir Codith Johnston I, invented reading the news while frightened. Oh, and beards. He invented the beard. Burisma hoped to get rid of a powerful prosecutor named Viktor Shokin and replace him with someone more amenable to their interests. Zangief, perhaps, or General Auramov from GoldenEye 007 for the...
Wait, it's pronounced Zangief? Not Zangief? Zangief? Have I just been pronouncing it all Western like? It was always Zangief? I feel like my entire worldview is shattered right now.
Nintendo 64. I haven't met any other Russian or Ukrainian guys, and I haven't met them either because they're in video games, but whatever. The laptop files contain an email from April 2015 in which Pozharskyi appears to thank Hunter for setting up a meeting with his dad. And sure enough, just 8 months after that email was sent, Vice President Biden did in fact speak to Ukrainian President Petro Poroshenko about Shokin, who was then dismissed from his role as the nation's top prosecutor. Seems suspect. These specific allegations were the subject of that initial New York Post item in October of 2020, the one that started the entire epic Laptop from Hell cinematic franchise. But it's not really as open and shut as the Post would maybe make it sound. First of all, there's no evidence that any official meeting ever actually happened between Pozharskyi and Vice President Biden. Nothing is mentioned in any of Biden's formal notes or schedules, and he's always denied that any such meeting took place. It's possible that the two men attended the same event and may have spoken. It just doesn't appear on their schedules. But the only concrete evidence we have for this connection is the email from Pozharskyi to Hunter. And depending on how you read it, he could be thanking him for trying to set up a meeting, not thanking him for a meeting that already took place or was definitely going to. And although Biden did pressure the government of Ukraine to fire Viktor Shokin as the country's top prosecutor, so did a lot of other world leaders and governments, including some forces within Ukraine. Shokin was publicly accused of corruption, not only by Joe Biden, but by Christine Lagarde, the managing director of the International Monetary Fund, and Daria Kaleniuk, the co-founder and executive director of the Anti-Corruption Action Center in Kiev. Also, Ukrainian parliament voted to remove Shokin because of very clear acts of corruption. Yuri Lutsenko, the Ukrainian prosecutor who took over the top job after Shokin, has said there's no reason to investigate the Bidens over those allegations, which I guess is, what he'd say, right? Still, Hunter's actions here are kind of hard to defend. Even Joe Biden seems to think so. He was asked about his son working for a Ukrainian gas company at a town hall in December 2019, long before the laptop had ever leaked to the public, and responded by calling the questioner fat and challenging him to a push-up contest.
The reason I'm running is because I've been around a long time and I know more than most people know. And I can get things done. That's why I'm running. And you want to check my shape on it, let's do push-ups together. Let's run. Let's do whatever you want to do. And no one has ever said it.
I forgot how much of his campaign was centered around just calling people like weak or fat or stuff like that. Come on, Jack.
You said I set up my son to work in an oil company. Isn't that what you said? Get your words straight, Jack.
Jack.
But I hear on MSNBC. You don't hear that on MSNBC. You did not hear that at all. What you heard? Look, okay, I'm not going to get in an argument with you, man. Well, I don't want to. Well, yeah, you do. But look, fat. Look, here's the deal.
Yeah, there it
Seem
is.
like he's
There it is. Yeah, I totally forgot that it was actually in the same sequence. It was the same. Yeah, all right. To be rock star and metal and all that kind of stuff. Well, these are still very, very rich, powerful families that are deep political dynasties at this point, who are deeply entrenched within the American, system and utilizing some of that for what he was alleged to have done. That's bad. That part sucks. Ultimately, when it comes down to it, I don't think anyone's on that side. I don't see the point in getting mad. Like, of course, Joe Biden, of all things, if you have your power, why wouldn't you use your ability to pardon someone, to pardon your own son? I think that is a very reasonable thing that someone would do, put in his position. If you're really upset about the fact that Joe Biden lies, you should be really upset about the fact that Joe Biden's lies have also tried to cover up genocide. That's far more egregious. That's far more disgusting. That's something that's very worth your time, anger, and platforms to all these liberal insiders who are now like, I cannot ever again say that I'm going to support Joe Biden or the Democrats after seeing him pardon fucking his son for gun charges. Oh my God, I can't believe he would do that. He lied to us. I say, we were promised something and then he said and did something different. Oh my word. And also, if I was going to get mad at Joe Biden when it comes to pardons or lack thereof, again, it would be for people who I believe should be getting pardons if it actually happens to stand up for the beliefs that you espouse to have. Are you against the death penalty? Do you think the death penalty should be abolished in America? Well, there's a lot of people on death row. I believe there's 40 men on death row right now who have specifically asked that their sentences be commuted from death row to life in prison. One example of someone who did not get that ability was Marcellus Williams, despite prosecutors and the victim's family asking for him to be spared. This was in the news a lot right up until the moment of his execution. There's a lot of people who are on death row right now that could really use those pardons in order to be commuted to having life in prison. That would be a much more valuable use of that power. The same thing happens to apply to, and shout out to Killer Mike for using this and his platform to talk about this. Mr. Biden, a truly merciful man, would see the value in freedom for an 80-year-old Indigenous American activist. I pray you are that man, and your pen finds mercy for Leonard Peltier, which, again, an Indigenous activist I would like to see pardoned, and this would be, I think, a valuable use of that resource rather than simply using it to help your child out. Again, not something that is entirely surprising or shocking that a politician would do. It actually makes a lot of sense that a politician would do something like that if they had the power to do it. But when it comes down to the selective outrage by libs, it's quite telling.
Received a whopping putting you all on notice. And Steve, this is why they hate us. This is why we're tyrannical. This is why we're dictators, because we're actually going to use the Constitution to prosecute them for crimes they said we have always been guilty of, but never have.
And this is Kash Patel speaking on the Sean Ryan show in September.
The FBI's footprint has gotten so freaking.
By the way, if you're unaware, if you are not an American or you're an American who hasn't been paying attention, this is who Trump is picking to head the FBI. The full-blown Alex Jones tier conspiracy theorist who spreads the most Alex Jones of Alex Jones conspiracies. It's quite wild. It's something that I think more people should be like, wait, what? Can you sound the alarm on this, please? Can you do something about it, please? Biden, you don't have a lot of days left. I would start putting in measures to be like, hey, by the way, maybe we should use a lot of our collective efforts now to try and block this shit on some level.
Looking for the next government promotion, looking for their next fancy government title, looking for their parachute out of government. So while you're bringing in the right people, you also have to shrink government.
So
This is such a wild time to be an accelerationist. I can't imagine how y'all are feeling right now. Like you're getting everything you ever wanted.
Again, that's Kash Patel. When President Trump wanted to make him deputy director of the FBI in his first administration, the Attorney General Bill Barr said over my dead body. Mehdi Hasan.
Yes, he did. Bill Barr, of all people, said the guy was completely unqualified. It was detached from reality to try and put him in the FBI. And he said, over my dead body, Gina Haspel, who was director of the CIA in December 2020 during Trump's lame duck, when Trump tried to appoint Kash Patel to deputy director of the CIA. She threatened to resign, and Mike Pence had to get involved and block that. So this is not some kind of liberal whining about Kash Patel. Prominent conservatives at the time said, no way, this guy is completely unqualified. And you play...
I love how every photo of him just has that look like, oh my God, this dude is about to fuck some shit up.
That clip from the War Room, from the Steve Bannon show, I think that's from December 2023. He put us on notice, he says in that clip, we're putting you on notice. Well, we're on notice. In fact, I've been warning about Kash Patel since 2022, when I was at MSNBC, and I predicted that Trump would make him FBI director and he would go after the media. He's making it very clear. He wants to prosecute journalists. In another time and era, Amy, those words would be chilling. Those words would disqualify him from the running. But of course, Republican senators mostly will fall in line. We'll see if the Murkowskis and the Susan Collinses and Mitch McConnell, whether they'll push back in the way they did on Matt Gaetz. He's a deeply dangerous nominee. I would argue that clip you played from the Bannon War Room show makes him perhaps the most dangerous nominee so far, because he's open about the fact that he wants to use the power of the state to crush Donald Trump's opponents. He's a sycophant. He's a bag carrier. He literally wrote a children's book about King Donald Trump. That's how sycophantic he is. And I would say to some of the progressives maybe watching your show this morning, Amy Goodman, who say, well, you know what, the FBI does need reform. We on the left don't like the FBI. We think Kash Patel should go break it up. Well, look, you could not like the FBI for good reason, but the only reason Kash Patel and the Republicans don't like the FBI is because the FBI investigated Donald Trump over ties to Russia, and because the FBI went to Mar-a-Lago and searched his home for stolen classified documents, which he was keeping.
Oh my God, it's true. I didn't even know about that part. It's called The Plot Against the King. This is gonna be the new head of the FBI. You gotta be fucking me. Shit, oh man, all of it would be so supremely funny if it wasn't like the country that has the largest, no, second largest nuclear arsenal, but largest military, most powerful military by far. Like if it wasn't that, I would just be like, this is all just fucking hilarious and darling. But now it's just kind of like you gotta laugh or you're gonna scream kind of shit, because oh my God, yeah, what a ride, you know. And the shitty thing is a lot of people didn't buy the ticket. Like I don't just mean the Americans who didn't vote for Donald Trump. I mean the world, the rest of the world who's watching this. Like it's one of those things where you're just like, what you up to, America? Oh no, that's so that guy's gonna be the head of the FBI, the one who wrote the children's book, The Plot Against the King. Oh my. Patel's also penned 3 children's books as part of the Plot Against the King trilogy. Oh, my apologies. Sorry. This is but one in the trilogy of the anti-Trump. The first was so good, I couldn't put it down. I had to buy the next 2. Featuring himself as a wizard called Distinguished Discoverer, defending King Donald from villains. The 3 main villains are Hillary Queenton, Sleepy Joe, and Kamala. 3 books. The first installment, which Patel calls the first ever children's Russiagate book, follows the story of an FBI started investigating Trump's 2016 campaign alleged ties with the Kremlin based on the Steele dossier. What fucking child will understand the sentence that just came out of my mouth? Are you insane? The blurb reads, this is fantastical retelling of Hillary's horrible plot against Trump to the whole family. The third and final book details King Donald's return to retake the throne from Kamala in what the publisher Brave Books describes as a great way to start a conversation with your kids about the election. What are the recommended ages here? Patel also authored his 2023 memoir, Government Gangsters, where he calls for a purge of the government employers who undermine the president's agenda. Patel's other ventures include a charity, the Kash Foundation, which was set up to provide legal defense funds to whistleblowers, according to its website. The organization came under scrutiny last year after Patel said that he paid the legal fees for 2 Republican House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jim Jordan's witnesses in his bid to prove the federal government had been weaponized against conservatives. The charity's store includes a suite of merchandise from Patel's, I don't know what that is, brand, including playing cards of himself as the king and Hillary Clinton as the Joker. A pair with Trump's hair photoshopped into a Punisher skull of the range called the Orange Man. The charity's revenue rose to $425,000 spent on average. The song "Justice for All" performed in DC jail. He reportedly has consulting contracts with a year just for that. Every single person who's now directly accepted that, you know what, fuck it all. We're going just full steam ahead, full sicko mode. You know, that's what this is effectively going to be, the administration of sickos. And everyone's getting paid, you know? Well, a lot of people at least. Some people are probably going to be left holding the bag. But like a lot of other people are getting fucking paid. It's going to be the elites replaced with...
Thank you so much for watching, everyone. This independent series is made entirely possible thanks to our patrons. It was produced by Anna Loves Riley, Arian McCarthy, Bobby Lasers, Cheryl Alvarez, Comrade Junkie, Doug Caddy, Everything Important, Hagbard Celine, Jimmy Sombrero, Multimongi, Omni, Political Papi, Preston Kroll, Quiet 185, Richard Bohem, Riley and Anna, Roller Dragon, Cernicus, Stellar Gwyn, Sebastian Demmel, and Words Greenwood. Not to mention all the other patrons you now see on screen. We couldn't have done this show without you. If you can help support the show, please check out patreon.com/the Serfs to unlock bonus secret episodes as well as get the content before anyone else.